Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the next part of our review discussions. And this time, we will be talking about the multiplication of algebraic expressions. Okay, so to recall, previously or yesterday, um, we had our discussions, the review discussions about the addition and subtraction of algebraic expressions. All those operations about algebraic expressions like the addition and subtraction, and this time will be the multiplication. All these three operations, you need these lessons and topics before we will proceed to the division of algebraic expressions, especially when the divisor is binomial using the long method division or long method of division. Okay, well anyway, this time we will be talking about the multiplication of algebraic expressions, and as usual, if you have mastered the rules on how to multiply integers, then it will be easy for you this time to recall and refresh your knowledge about the multiplication of algebraic expressions. So let's start. Okay, so let's begin with the basic part as part of the review or recall for you. Let us consider the multiplication of constant and variables. So, like for example, if we have positive 2 times x, for example, and anyway, for the multiplication, we do not use this symbol x as multiplication. Please always remember this one, because you might consider this soon x as variable. So that is why instead of using this letter x as multiplication, we will use the parenthesis as a symbol. That is why if it is parenthesis, between these two parentheses, the operation is already multiplication. So there is no need for you to put x here as multiplication, because the parentheses themselves will tell you that the operation between positive 2 and x is multiplication. Okay, so let us try to recall the basic part of the multiplication of algebraic expressions. For example, we have the constant and variables. What is the result when we multiply constant and variables? So just simply, if you are multiplying constant or number and letter, the result is just equal to just copy them together as your answer. So you read this as the quantity of positive 2 times the quantity of positive x. So since the first one is number or constant and the other is variable, so just copy them together as the answer. So that's it. So it is where the term like 2x derived from when we multiply constant and variable. Okay, another one. We may have negative 5 times x squared. So the same as number one example, you just copy them together as your answer. So the result is 5x squared. So you read this as the quantity of negative 5 times the quantity of x squared. So the result is negative 5x squared. So I hope this one is very clear to you. as part of the basic review of multiplication of algebraic expression. Okay, so the last one we have negative 3 times 2x raised to the power of 4, for example. So, say the first one is integer and the second one is 2x raised to the power of 4, but it has numerical coefficient of positive 2. So all you have to do is just multiply the numbers and bring down the variable together with its exponent. So the quantity of negative 3 times the quantity of positive 2x raised to the power of 4, just multiply the number or the integers here. So 3 times 2, that is 6, and negative times positive is negative. And then bring down x raised to the power of 4. So the answer is negative 6x raised to the power of 4 when we combine these two given by multiplication. That's the quantity of negative 3 times the quantity of positive 2x raised to the power of 4. Okay, so let's proceed to the second one. This time, variables and variables. What is the result when we multiply variables? Okay, so this one, for this part, there are two possible given. The first one is when you multiply variables and variables where these two variables are not the same. For example, we have, okay, so we have A times B, or the quantity of A times B. So if you are multiplying variables, different variables, the result is just again copied together as the answer. So the quantity of A times the quantity of B, the result is AB as the product. Another one, you may have x squared times y cubed, for example. So since the two variables are not the same again, so the quantity of x squared times the quantity of y raised to the power of 3, or y cubed, so the result is just copied together as your answer. Okay, so that's it. That's how you multiply variables if these given variables are not the same. Just copy them together as the final answer, or as product, together with exponents if there are exponents. So for this case, we are considering variables, multiplying variables where these variables are not the same. Okay, so the next one is still, okay, let us see. So the next one is still about variables. So same variables. What is the result when we multiply the same variables? Okay, so you have, for example, x times x squared, or x times x. Just for example, you may also rewrite this as x times x. So instead of using letter x as multiplication, other than parentheses, you can also use that as a symbol for multiplication when it comes to secondary mathematics or algebraic expressions. Not just algebraic, but also when we multiply integers, we can also use that to symbolize multiplication. Okay, so the quantity of x times x, or the quantity, or x times x, either of these two is acceptable as symbol of multiplication. Okay, so the question now is, what is the result when we multiply the same variables? So for this case, it is considered that all letters or any variables, it is always considered or understandable that it has positive 1 as their exponents. Only that you may omit or you can, um, the exponents are omitted because it is always considered and understandable that the positive 1 as exponent is always there. So what you will do if you are multiplying two the same letters or variables or more than one variables, but these variables are the same, so what you will do is just copy a single variable and then consider that the first exponent plus the second exponent. The exponent of the first x and the exponent of the second x. So, and then other exponents, and then the result is x raised to the power of 2. So that's it. When we multiply the same letters, the same variables, the rule is just copy the common variable and add their exponents. So that's how you multiply variables if they are the same. So did you get the comparison here? That if variables you are multiplying are not the same, you copy them together as the answer. While if you are multiplying the same variables, all you have to do is to copy the common variable and then add their exponents. And the final answer, the result like this one as x squared, is the final answer when we multiply x times x. So I hope you get this idea. Another one under this. So you have x cubed times x. So what is the result? So since variables are the same, so just copy again the common variable, and the first exponent is 3 plus the second exponent is considered 1. So the result or the product is x raised to the power of 4. So therefore x cubed times x, the product is x raised to the power of 4. Okay, so as simple as this. So there is no need for you to be confused and choose not to understand this different types of multiplication, the basic part of the multiplication of algebraic expression. And since supposedly this is a review lesson, review discussions, I am not supposed to include this one, but for the sake of some mathematics lovers who were able to skip this part of the discussion because of the pandemic years, then this is for you. And this is your chance to learn the basic way or the basic part of the multiplication when it comes to multiplying algebraic expression. Okay, let's continue. Supposedly you have 2x raised to the power of 3 and then times, when we have 3x raised to the power of 2, for example. So what will be the result? Okay, just simply you multiply numbers and numbers and variables and variables. So you may multiply, you may do this way, but if you are master already, so just give the product directly. But for the sake of presenting the step-by-step solution, because this is a review, a step-by-step review, so you may multiply this first, 2 times 3, and then, okay, so this one, and then times x. Since the variables are the same, so just copy the common variable, a single x, and then add their exponent. So the first exponent is 3, the second exponent is 2. Like this one. So 2 times 3 is 6, and then times x raised to the power of 3 plus 2, that is x raised to the power of 5. And then you go back to the first one, which is multiplying constant and variables. The result is copy them together, that is 6x raised to the power of 5. So therefore class, that's when we multiply the quantity of 2x cubed times the quantity of 3x squared, the product, the final answer is 6x raised to the power of 5. So, if you are confused regarding with this third example or any of these basic examples, you may ask questions, and if this one will be uploaded in the channel, you may comment your questions or you can ask me directly. Okay, so another one, for example, you have here. Perhaps this is the last example for this basic part. Supposedly we have negative 3x squared y raised to the power of 3 times 5x cubed y raised to the power of 4. So what is the result? Okay, so all you have to do is again multiply numbers, that is negative 3. You may also use the parentheses. Other than that, okay, other than that between the numbers, you may also use just simply the parentheses. And then you may also copy x. So the common variable here, x and x, so x squared and x cubed, just copy them as a single x, and then other exponent, the first exponent of x is 2, the second exponent of x, that is 3, and then add them. And then the next variable is y, so just copy the common y, and the first exponent of y is 3, and then the second exponent of y is raised to the power of 4, and then that's it. So proceed to multiplication. So 15 times 3, 3 times 5, that is 15, and negative times positive is simply negative. Or you may bring down them directly, and then this one is x raised to the power of 2 plus 3 is 5, and then y raised to the power of 3 plus 4 is 7. Or, if there, as I said, if there's no addition or subtraction between these numbers and letters, so understood that the operation again always is multiplication. So multiply, when you multiply these three different terms, so that will become a single term is negative 15 x raised to the power of 5, and then y raised to the power of 7. So that's it. That's how you multiply the basic multiplication. That's how you perform the basic multiplications of algebraic expressions, the different ways or the different possible given expressions where you can apply the multiplication of algebraic. Okay, so for you to practice, try this one. Okay, so just try to practice this one. So, the quantity of negative 3x raised to the power of 3, y raised to the power of 2, times the quantity of 4xy. So, the second given is the quantity of 9b raised to the power of 2, times 3c raised to the power of 4, times the quantity of negative 2d raised to the power of 4. So, this is the part where you need to review, you need to recall, and you need to master before we will proceed to the next part of the multiplication, and that is the multiplication of monomial and binomials. binomials and binomials, trinomials and trinomials, or multinomials. And we will proceed to that one when we come back. So for this time, we will take a short break. So thank you, and please stay full. So again, your practice, the given algebraic for you to practice is the quantity of negative 3x cubed plus, the quantity of negative 3x cubed y squared times the quantity of 4xy. The second given for you to practice is the quantity of 9b squared times the quantity of 3c raised to the power of 4 times the quantity of negative 2 d raised to the power of 4. So hang on, we will come back.